All right, I think we are live. So I will obviously.
Awesome.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Nathan coming at you here with another video. I have my buddy Chris McCauley here on the line with me, and today I just kind of wanted to do a little collaboration with Chris and just kind of understand, what he's been doing the last year and where he's planning to go, for the next year. And so, Chris, if you kind of want to just introduce yourself, where you're from, and whatever else you want to add, we'll go ahead and jump right in.
Yeah, my name is Chris McCauley, and I run my own online business. Basically, I've been doing this full time now for coming up on. Actually, it's been a full year, a little over a year. Last week, I think, was my year anniversary, and yeah, I have background like accounting, supply chain, management, all that stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much a little bit about me. So,
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and so what state are you from?
I'm from Illinois, like central small town Illinois. And then when I quit my job, I moved across country to Southern California. And I've been here, I'm in Santa Barbara right now.
Hope you're enjoying all that sun down there.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, man. So
Yeah, I'm in Washington State, and the sun's out today, so it's a unique day for definitely. But yeah, I can relate with that. I'm actually from a small town as well, here in Washington, and so yeah, that's awesome. And so yeah, so for the viewers, I just kind of wanted to jump in. Obviously, you've come a long ways, in the last year. You've been kind of a corporate job, so to speak, and then you transition into building up kind of a side hustle and, kind of just allowing that side hustle to basically replace your full-time income at your corporate job and then kind of leaving that corporate job. So you want to just kind of say for the viewers what that transition can look like practically and how someone could maybe implement that in their own life? Because I know there's a lot of people that are in that same boat. They're working a corporate job and they're considering doing entrepreneurship, doing something with business, and trying to figure out what that transition would look like. So just from your experience, you want to just kind of explain, how you're able to do that.
Yeah, so basically when I was, when you're working a full-time job, it's like, 8 to 5, or it doesn't necessarily have to be set up like that, but it definitely takes a lot of time management because you're going to have to, I'll tell you how my schedule is set up, and maybe that will kind of give you an idea and everyone an idea of like how I went about doing it. So basically I went to the gym before work, so like 5 a.m., then I would go work, and after work I would work on my side hustle till about 11 or 12, and like at night. And that was literally, I did that for probably 4 months. And it's crazy how fast things can go. Like 4 months really isn't that long of a time. And it went by really quick, right? So, and the transition period happened when it was, it was Q4, busy time of the year. And then that's when I saw the sales and everything that was happening, the confidence, that confidence that was needed to basically transition full time, because it's different. It's a completely different ball game when you are relying on just yourself. Like it's just, you don't have that steady income coming in every week.
Right.
And I think confidence is a key factor you need to have before doing that. You got to believe in yourself. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So what were some of the main motivations, I guess, to get you to want to leave that comfort zone and want to, kind of step out of the 9 to 5? I mean, I'm sure you had some ultimate goals that you had in your mind. So you want to kind of share what some of those kind of tickers were for you to want to transition out of the 9 to 5?
yeah, so I had always been an entrepreneur. Even like I paid for my college, being like basically doing my own thing. And my biggest thing was I didn't know anyone that told me that I could do what I'm doing full time. Like, I didn't think it was possible. So I literally was like doing all this stuff to pay for my college. And then I get out of college and I'm working the job that I got my degree in.
Yeah.
And like and it just really wasn't what I thought it panned out to be. Well, I was looking back on it and I'm thinking, man, like I was making more money doing that than I was this. And that was probably like, it was just something I had to learn on my own. I wish someone would have been able to tell me that what I was doing was possible. Like, do what you love. Like, don't necessarily do whatever, like, do what you, people think, you should think you should do. Like, just listen to what you want to do. And no one ever taught me that. So that was my biggest motivation, basically, was just, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't like it was just a fear of like regret and just not loving every day. Like it was just a combination of all of that, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you make a really interesting point. You said that you kind of supported your way through university, through school, and so you've kind of always had those entrepreneurial tendencies, right? So would you say that that's something that can be learned, or is that something that you're kind of born with, or is it the combination of both? I mean, what would you
I
say?
think it's like 90% you can learn it. Like I honestly think that if you it's part of it is like I think most of it is your environment. So I think that like this last year I've learned more than I did my entire like 7 years of side hustling or whatever you want to call it. That
Absolutely.
then like and so there's just a point where you just have to immerse yourself, and it's practice, you know what I mean? So like it takes like creative practice, like how can I make this more efficient, what's this new business venture, like looking at new opportunities, and it's definitely, I feel like it's definitely you can learn it. So but it just takes practice like anything.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think that's really something that can be learned. Although it does help to have that 10% that's within you that has that drive, has that determination to want to kind of stick things out no matter what, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not an it's not an easy journey, And so, I guess another question I'd want to ask you is, what would you say were some of the difficulties that you experienced from transitioning from a corporate job into being your own boss and ultimately firing your boss? And yeah.
Man, I mean, honestly, there were quite a few. And I mean, just I feel like there's always something that I'm learning and mistakes that were made that I learned. I mean, one of them, because, I don't run service-based businesses, I run cash flow. And
Right.
so one of them was just like managing cash flow. And I'm still optimizing that. Like that's something that's big. Like having to like, cash flow, just setting up like a daily routine. Those are probably my biggest two, or were my biggest two issues. And then, I mean, just in general, like moving places. So, like, I moved across country. Looking back on it, like, was that necessarily the best decision? I don't know. I do think environment can somewhat stimulate a person, and I don't regret it. Like, I just feel better when I'm out here than I was where I'm from, like in
Yeah.
central Illinois. But that being said, I don't know. I think, man, there were definitely some issues last year. Like 2017, I learned so much. Just looking from where it ended and where I started, things were completely different. They evolved so much. Like all my daily routine, just business practices and everything. So
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. It's pretty interesting, because when you're in a corporate job, but you're really just limited by salary. And so, were those some things that made you want to transition out of it? I mean, you're in a corporate job, right? And then you're only going to make X amount. But if you're in sales, you could make maybe X amount plus whatever your OTE commission is, right? Is money kind of a motivation for you at all, or?
yeah, I mean, money was definitely a motivation, and I mean, it still is a motivation. Like, I'm the type of person that like okay. So the crazy thing is that the month before I left, I was offered a six-figure salary job,
No.
and it was actually kind of like my dream salary job. Basically, I would have gotten used to that money coming in, and then I wouldn't have, I don't know, like I always have to have, like, for me psychologically, I have to have the ability to make more money. Like
Yeah.
I've been in a salary job.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess if I was in sales, it might be a little different. I don't know though, because my whole goal right now is to be able to create passive income and travel. Like that's my main thing. Like people ask me all the time, they're like, why don't you like personal train anymore? Because that's what I was doing. And it's like, it's still tied to like being in not kind of in one place, you know? And then, so that's probably why that was my, honestly, one of my biggest motivators was just the being able to travel. I would take less money and being able to just do what I want rather than necessarily the money. So it was a little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a post the other day, and the guy that posted it said, "Would you rather make $1 million over the course of 12 months doing a job that you absolutely hate, or would you rather make $250,000 traveling the world and doing something that you love?"
Not, you don't even need 250,000. Like honestly, like
Yeah.
70 or 80K, like 100K. Like, yeah, I mean, you know, obviously the second one for me is a no brainer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I think it really comes down to, a combination of, obviously, I'm money driven, you're money driven, but that's not the only piece of the picture, right? There's other things like your well-being, the environment that you're around, people every day, who you surround yourself with. I think those are all factors in wanting to pursue, entrepreneurship. At least that's what it is for me as well. And so, yeah, I guess another question I wanted to ask you is, so you're in full time, you're doing your thing right now, and so what's kind of the next step for you? Are you just looking at scalability? Are you trying to outsource and maybe bring on an employee? You don't have to get into specific of what you do. Maybe we could do that in another collaboration.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I think for me right now, I'm not necessarily looking at hiring. I want to hire a virtual assistant. I'm just not there yet. I maybe by summertime. Like honestly, one virtual assistant can really change the way you do things. I've got a couple of solid like gig employees, I would call them, like that I'm going to multiple times a week. They're just not on like a salary basis.
Right,
And
just contractors.
yeah, and I mean, honestly, it's just I feel like I've got a good system right now. It's just about making it slightly more efficient and scaling it. Like that's pretty much where I feel like I'm at. Like as opposed to where I was last year, it was like trying to find that, and I was trying to find that and really kind of where I'm at now. Now it's that I feel like I found it, and now it's just about building on top of that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So one of the main takeaways that I'm getting from this talk, and that hopefully some of the viewers watching are as well, is that you kind of eventually reach a point where you're balancing, let's say, a corporate job, and then you have this entrepreneurial tendency, you have this business idea, or maybe it's something that you've been building up on the side for a while, like I have. But you eventually get to a point where you just have to kind of just go all in and take that risk. And so would you say that that's something, like what was kind of, I guess, just to kind of wrap this all up, kind of big picture, what would you say would be, just 3 practical things or however many you want to list to help someone go from that 9 to 5 to going all in? Like what are some, so you mentioned having a schedule.
Yeah, so like, okay, so definitely time management, but
Yeah.
before even time management, you just really need to find your why. Why are you doing this? Like, what's the end goal? And write that down somewhere. Like, I write down weekly goals and I look at those every single morning and I have them on my computer. You basically need to like formulate, like set an end goal. So, when are you going to, when do you want to achieve something by, and then just basically work backwards from there. What
Right.
do you like? So you set your goal and then set a plan of action to get there. And you know what? That the thing why I think it's important to create weekly goals is because from there you can really it can kind of like help you keep you accountable. Do I need to change something?
Hmm.
And then from there, I mean, you got your why, you got your goals. Um, I mean, from there it's just tweaking. It's just am I doing what I like? And maybe on the way there, you figure out you're like, I don't like this. I just want to keep working my corporate job, or like, I want to do this instead. but you would have never known that if you didn't start doing the.
taking that action.
Yeah, exactly. Like you wouldn't have known that if you wouldn't have taken that action. So, in my opinion, like to summarize it is just, and you hear this all the time on the internet, but it's the truth, is action is key. And just you got to start. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, man, I really appreciate you, hopping online here with me today and just kind of doing this short little interview. I hope the viewers, you guys got something out of this, some good takeaways. You heard it here from Chris McCauley, the man who went all in, who's now in California, actively pursuing his business. So, dude, I just wish the best of luck for you here in 2018 and, and beyond. So I'm stoked to yeah, let's do something again here soon.
oh, for sure, man. Appreciate it as well. And definitely keep in touch.
Okay, awesome, man.
All right, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching that video. I know that I am pumped. I am stoked to continue pursuing my business head on and just taking massive action in it. Thank you again for watching this video. And please, if you want, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Take care. See you in the next one.